Thanks for joining. Hang on 1 second, we're still sorting things out. Thanks for joining. So today we're picking up where we left off, more or less, on our AM8 build. And let's see, there we go. And just as a reminder, we were having problems with our frame not seating properly. As it turned out, the aluminum extrusions that I bought as a kit off of eBay had a slightly out of spec slot depth, so the 10mm screws were bottoming out on the bottom of the slot. Solution was simple: go buy some washers with a 1mm thickness and a 10mm OD, and that gave us the necessary offset we need. So now we have a very secure, very firm frame. This thing ain't going anywhere. Now the motion you're seeing here is the table that this is on, not the printer. So it's progress. Tedious, but progress. The other thing that we ended up doing was I reprinted the Y rod holders, which still didn't get the job done. So I then bought some needle files, but while I was waiting for the needle files, I realized that one could just Dremel the thing out quite reasonably. So Dremels are nice. Having a Dremel mount would be nicer, because leaving it on the floor is not great. This is my off-brand Dremel. Tack Life. I don't know. Seems to get the job done, though. Problem is, it probably wouldn't fit any of the existing Dremel mounts that are on Thingiverse, so that's kind of aggravating. What prompted this stream was I received the fasteners that I was missing, and of course I can't go reach them because I have my mic on, which leads me to the next point. I still haven't bought myself a lav mic transceiver. Let's see if I can reach these. All right, here we go. So let's do an unboxing right quick. That. All right. Get our frame out of the way. What did we get? This in here and right. What have we got? We got a handheld barcode scanner for another project. Guess we can open and take a quick look at it just for kicks. This is the El Cheapo variety of Chinesium barcode scanners. It looks to be a little more, well, I don't know if it's a little heftier, but it seems a little bit better made than the one I had before. Although the other one I had before was nice because I could actually disconnect the cord here. I don't know, we'll have to open it up on another stream and see what the internals are like and whether they will meet my needs. But that's for another stream. Some more Nova Maker blue PETG. This is the same stuff that we use to print our parts for our AM8. They come out looking like this, for example. Got a nice sheen to them. They get that sheen when they're at 135. They're extruded at 135 degrees. If you go down to 120, you get something that looks like this, which I guess on camera doesn't look a whole lot different, but it's lighter and not nearly as reflective. Other items, I'm guessing these are our needle files. Why, yes. And they seem to come, well, some of them seem to come in a nice case. Others, not so much. Oh, they'll all do. Okay. Set of large and small files. Very handy. At least before I decided that I was just going to Dremel the thing out and be done with it. Here we have our rubber feet for our printer. Those are apparently sized perfectly for the 10mm M5 screws. Then of course we have more washers. Of course I went out and bought some locally for twice the price. No, actually I bought some locally for cheaper than Amazon. And the fasteners that I really need, the T-nuts. All right, so T-nuts go here and washers go here. It's worth looking at the assembled X-axis because it just looks cool. Here it is. Yes, I know I haven't put the extruder motor on it, but it will be direct drive. For the moment, this is a Chinesium hot end, although I need to thank Robbie Mack for graciously sending me a genuine E3D, which is on the way. And then we've got the bed assembly. Which is, much as you'd expect, a bed assembly. Really, the bed assembly is the next thing that goes on here, but first we are going to do a little bit of maintenance and replace our gray bits and bobs with nice shiny blue bits and bobs. Then we can get the bed on, get the Z-axis set up, get the X-axis installed, and then we'll have a printer. Yeah, I don't have a printer. So, I guess the easiest way to do this is one at a time. And starting here. This is where things go springing and springing. We don't want that. Instead, we want one of these. We want this. Want one of these. Bear with me here. I've not had a chance to flip over to comments. Let me do that just to keep up with things. Comments are not loading. Let us test right quick. Ah, they are. Okay. All good. Something is up with the streaming dashboard. It is not doing what it should be doing. There we go. That's a little better. Thought it would be easier to do it this way, but maybe not. Thread this through our bit of aluminum. Or are we not yet to that problem? There was a reason I left these things on here when I... Hey guys. There was a reason I left these things as is when I first installed them, because they are a massive pain in the ass. Hey Scalda, John. So they look really cool if they get lined up right, but it is not easy because the aluminum of the bed carrier is not well threaded. I'm not going to go out and buy a tap just for this, because it just seems a little too stupid. There we go. not confidence inspiring, and it makes for bed leveling to be a massive pain in the ass. Thank God for auto bed leveling. No, this is the bed carrier. Arguably, there should be no threads on it. It just wasn't drilled at the proper size, and this has been a problem since I got this kit. I just have ignored it, and because I don't have a drill bit that I'm happy drilling aluminum with. But yes, I could just embiggen the hole and rely on the thumb screws to hold everything properly, as they should anyway. I mean, as is their design intent. Yeah, and the only reason I'm doing this is because this thing is being built primarily for earth anyway, so I might as well make it look vaguely cool and match slightly. Now, what is going on here? Okay. Ah! Shit. That's not what I'm going for. Alright. That goes here. This goes. I will have mastered this by the time we get to the fourth one. But until then, you're going to have these things spring and spring all over the place. I wanted to complete this subassembly before I started streaming, but yeah, this chain or this arrangement, it relates to a drag chain that I had set up on the left-hand side, and it sort of worked, but I eventually just gave up on it. And I don't know, I guess I could take the drag chain component off, but I figure why bother at this point. Which I know is inconsistent with my let's make this match thoughts, but what the hell? I can be internally inconsistent. Oh, that's the AM8. Right, so this is actually the AM8 reinforced, which is obviously based on the AM8. It just has chunkier parts that are a little heftier and have some interesting angles to them. But most importantly, the AM8 reinforced comes with these very nice jigs for alignment of all the rod holders and motors and other goodness. I thought I had this. What happened? Thought I had this one. Shit. Well, that didn't go well. The thing that matters here is the spring, which went this way, I think. As much fun as this is going to be, watching me crawl around on the floor looking for a spring is going to be unfun in the grand scheme of things. But that's what we have to do, because I don't have any spares. Okay, it bounced off my foot. It went this way. And it's right here. Look at that. All right, Huda Man. Here we go. One spring. angle this out. We'll just switch to the other camera. I guess I need hotkeys for this, but not yet. All in good time. But yeah, it's these stupid little colored end caps that are such a pain in the ass in this process. And, you know, not necessary, but they look vaguely cool. Hang on, I can't quite get back to comments just yet. I wonder if it would be easier if I did this the other way. Just pile all this stuff on and then lay the base plate on it. Let's try that. Yeah, maybe. I don't know how reinforced these things really are, but I like the look of them a little more than the original AM8 arrangement. Alright, we're going to try this. We're going to go do an all or nothing thing here. And it seems to be only this one hole that was misdrilled. The other two seem seem to operate as designed. No, it's not. It was 2 holes that were misdrilled. I have no idea how I got this all on here to begin with. This stuff is more of a pain in the ass. Oh, Apocalypse Survivor, how's it going? Oh, on drag chains, I hadn't seen a drag chains arrangement that went under the bed. That, what, from like front or back? I guess from front. That would be kind of interesting. Alright, so we've now pulled all 3. Let's try this other technique. First this. No. First through here. Then thread this on. Why do I feel like I'm missing a spring now? Oh, because the other spring isn't here. All right. Okay, so over here, I don't know which, unfortunately I can't look at my comments and which camera angle I'm on right now. I think you're looking at the wide angle. So this is my A8, or what's left of my A8, and down here is the frame that I bought, the extrusions I bought off of eBay to build my AM8 frame. We were discussing earlier the quality of those extrusions. They seem to be out of spec slightly, which means the 8mm screws that the A8 bill of materials suggests tend to bottom out on the bottom of the extrusions, which is aggravating. Bottom of the channel in the extrusions. So you end up throwing washers on it, but it works. Yeah, at this is probably the least exciting. What I tried to do was I streamed the initial setup. I ran into problems. I think John, you were here, and a couple other people were here, but it was most unexciting because I was fighting with T-nuts, which is always a pain in the ass. And now I'm fighting with this. So I had actually planned on doing this off stream and then being ready to do the final assembly on stream, but I was informed that someone else was streaming this evening, so I didn't want to step on their work. Of course. So this thing is going to earth, which is the only reason why I'm doing these snazzy colored corner bits. I figured, you know, if I'm, and really the only reason I'm doing a printer for earth is because I realized that it cost, I noticed that it costs the same to exhibit or not to exhibit. Then I realized that, well, geez, if I'm getting exhibit space, I might as well actually exhibit something. So rather than just use it to store a bag or swag or whatever it is that I've acquired along the way. So that's how this build materialized. Shit! And that time, ooh, oh, wow! Oh, that's amazing. This thing shot that way against the wall, bounced back, and watch this. Right, here I am. Here's where the spring landed. That is amazing. Now that wall is a good 6 feet that away. Kind of amazing. All right, now I think I've got spares of these, right? Yeah, I got spares of the end caps. Okay, I don't want to go hunting for that one. Also don't need to be crushing the wires here. Robbie, have fun. Enjoy the sanding. Dremels are your friend. Shit. And we're out of a spring again. And this time, I'm not so lucky. All right. Now we get to hunt for springs. This shot up this way, here. So the spring might potentially have springed where? Okay, so we have one spring left. I should not have undertaken this portion of the job. Definitely not on stream, though. This may be another stream that doesn't... This may be another stream that doesn't actually get saved because this is just too exciting. Well, I do realize the chances of finding this thing are about 10. I shall pursue. Or I can just go buy new bed springs. Does anyone know the spec of the AM8 bed springs off the top of their head? It's interesting, if you go to Home Depot, for example, and look for and ask for M3 hardware, they'll laugh at you because we's in America, and we in America don't use this metric bullshit. So I made the mistake of trying to explain to the guy. Oh, let's see here. Going to Home Depot looking for M3 hardware. You're not going to find any. They don't carry anything under M4. And if you ask, you'll get interesting responses like, why are you using metric hardware? You're in America. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'm in America, but maybe I want to use real hardware with real measurements that serious people use. But then, of course, I made the mistake of explaining that I was building a printer that was designed in the Czech Republic, which got not the optimal response. What do you need that Eastern European stuff? Use an American design. Okay. Never shop at Home Depot. Those look like them. Oh, Amazon. Cool. Thank you. You know, I really should just bore out these holes in the bottom of in the bed carrier. But we will work with what we're given for the moment. I guess I should order those this instant so that I don't have to wait any longer than absolutely necessary. Ooh, almost lost another spring. We're going to see how auto bed leveling compensates for one missing spring. What am I missing here? One wing nut. All right, let's go find these things. These are extruder springs, as in the springs used for the extruder arm. Let us look together. These are extruder springs, or so it says. Are they the same? Or does it really matter? As long as the springs themselves are of the same, have the same properties, all four of them, it shouldn't really make a difference. Oh, a Robo 3D R1 for 500 bucks. I guess it's better than the R2. Oh, no, John, you were correct. Heated bed compression strings. I don't know why they're talking about an extruder as it relates to those springs. But for $598, I can get 4, or for $698, I can get 10. You're right. I'll get these. That was not the way to go, was it? Oh well. I guess we will definitely not be keeping this stream around. Okay. More springs on their way. Now, I still feel like it's just going to be sitting there on the rug and I'm just going to see it just from this position. Oh well. All right, let's deal with motors. We'll come back to the bed later. Yeah, that's not going to work with no spring. I can't even test this thing with no spring. All right. A little bit of cleanup. And we move on to motor mounts. here's our donor printer. With our donor motors. And you can't really see this. Let's do it this way. That's not much better. But we'll go with what we've got. We shall use our 3D printed measuring cube. That should work nicely. Okay. Motor 1. Now, I guess we'll just do it this way. Can I raise this up a little bit? Well, I can do this maybe. Is that better? Yeah, see, now I got a crotch shot, which nobody wants. And motor 2. Goodbye, donor printer. Heat bed. All right, motor mounts come with this very nice little jig that tells us the proper height. Tells us the proper height at which to position our motors, or motor mounts, like so. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to screw this in at that angle, so I'm going to have to do this something like this. And can we see that? No, we can't. Yeah. Let it suffice to say that my jig is here. And these jigs probably work just as well. I am in North Carolina. Who are we asking? Looking for the same spring. Pink Wizard Extruder. Anyway, so I went with the first set of springs that John identified. They are the same springs? Yeah, I guess it would make sense that they would be the same springs, just from an ease of manufacture perspective. I am in North Carolina. Did I say something other than being in North Carolina? You know. Did it not say I was in North Carolina? Oh, you're right. So you're commenting on the address, but the address put me in North Carolina. I don't know. Anyway, let's look at these motor mounts. These things are heavy duty. They, do I have my, I do. Calipers here. I want to see how thick these things really are. Now, I don't have the AM8 default measurements to compare to, but the sidewalls on these things are over 4 millimeters thick. The top wall is over 6 millimeters thick, and the back wall is over 11 millimeters, now 10 millimeters thick. So this thing is, these motor mounts are heavy duty. I printed them all at 35% infill. I know they said 40, but I'm going with Stefan of CNC Kitchen, who says anything above 35% actually has diminishing returns, and 40% is just wasteful. So that's what I'm going with. Square nuts. M5 screws. And here we go. Now, like I said, I ended up throwing washers on the M5 screws that relate to these corner brackets. These corner brackets are the Chinesium ones I picked up off of AliExpress. And by comparison, they are, I don't know, maybe 2 millimeters thick. Let's see. .14. So if the walls on this thing are, that's 10 millimeters, that's not going to be a problem. That, well, let's see. That's 4 millimeters. All right, we're good. No washers necessary. I can only read comments part way from that soon. If you go look at CNC Kitchen, CNC_kitchen, Stefan is, I guess he's a mechanical engineer, but he does a lot of materials testing on his channel, strength testing and that sort of thing. But one of my favorite things he does is the automated design modeling. So for example, Fusion 360 will do, there's a name for it, material strength modeling. There's some specific name for it, whereby you say this part must support this, these stresses from in these directions, and it'll come up with the minimum amount of material required in the appropriate positions in order to create that given part. He did one for a filament rack, which was interesting. Most recently, he did one for custom machining a new aluminum bed carrier, which was very cool. He also uses his Prusa Mark II for sous vide cooking, which is kind of cool. Anyway, motor mounts. These things are supported by 6 screws in 2 different orientations. I'm not sure what the default motor mounts do in this regard, but there's no screwing around here. Oh, and John, if you are going to switch up and use the AM8 reinforced models, you'll see very quickly from, looking at the file list, but not everything is replaced. So you need to basically get your list of reinforced parts and then go back and use the default AM8 parts for the other things, like I think the Z end stop and that kind of thing are not, they're not reinforced versions of those. Oh, yeah. That should work nicely. I think like I said, the biggest benefit you're going to get is with the jigs. These things are invaluable. They have all there are 6 different jigs, one for motor, one for right angleness, which is kind of handy, and actually, how does that work? It actually lines right in the groove here to give you nice right angleness. And then 5 of these that are 50.4 some millimeters to whatever else, and they just sit right in the groove here. That's not the right one. But it tells you on their little graphic which ones go in to find the appropriate distances from edge to edge for all of the Y carriage mounted components, which is really quite valuable in my book. All right, time to break out the new bag of square nuts. Where is my hex key? That would be a ridiculously stupid reason to no longer, to not continue. Where is my hex key? There we go. That's the approach we need. Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to be doing some nudging and retightening anyway, but the jigs reduce the need for eyeballing, which is kind of nice. Guess this hole didn't get cleared very well. Okay. I don't know about this. These parts are slightly warped, so let's see if this is the best route, actually. Because this way I can just sort of spin things around until they line up. This is not going. Now on the bill of materials, did it say something about using longer screws for these motor mounts? I think I've got the bill of materials open somewhere, but it's on a screen that is not in front of me. On the bright side, once these things go in, they will never, ever come out. That's for damn sure. Ouch. I got them off of eBay. Let me see if I can locate the exact listing for you. $5.09. Okay, so I'm only 5 minutes late with my response. Wow. This is seriously tricky shit to get lined up right. Okay. Of course, if I'm not logged in, this is going to be a pain in the ass to find. Am I logged in? I may be. AM8 extrusions, AM8 2040 extrusions only, made in Japan. The seller is Themo Gromberg. Here's the listing. In fact, I'm not sure if this is a listing page. This is going to get you to something that you won't be able to access because related specifically to my purchase, but here it is anyway. I imagine you can strip off the last bit from that link and it'll get you the right extrusions. Now, I'll loosen this up ever so slightly. Is the gist of this that I can go up, but I can't go down? Can't go down beyond this point. Why can I not go down beyond this point? Where's it catching? Okay, let's try putting it on from the bottom. Huh. So they're out of stock, maybe? Anyway, the point I was making earlier was the extrusions themselves seem to be of relatively low quality, and they seem to be slightly out of spec by about 1 millimeter. But they were cheap, which is, you know, good-ish. So if I push those in, those out, then I can get So due to the tolerances here, you have to slide these things on from the end, and due to the tolerances again, you don't want to risk trying to slide it down from the top. So slide it up from the bottom. Did it again. But I got it on. All right. So yes, when you're doing this, slide the extrusions on from the bottom. Align all the screws along the narrow alignment, even though you should be able to slide them on with the wide alignment, because at this point you want to get everything positioned with your jig with regard to height, and then loosen and tighten the screws in turn, because you need to loosen them in order to get them loose enough to actually turn in the extrusion. Problem is there enough okay, so there's the alignment. Is there enough slack in here to get these things to turn at all? And the answer is I have not a fucking clue. Wow, it turned. Amazing. Did that turn? I know I shouldn't be this astonished that square nuts actually do what they're designed to do, but come on, this is... No, that did not turn. That sort of turned. Okay. Okay. That's one motor mount. If the bracket holders are... Well, I'm quite sure these weren't Japanese steel either, so... I'm also concerned that I've almost rounded over my hex key on these damn things. Okay. Next motor mount. So, John, I never actually printed the original AM8 style parts. Were they also mounted with 6 screws and from the 2 orientations, or was it just a front mount kind of deal? Yeah, well then these are definitely reinforced. They weren't kidding about that. But man, are they hard to put on. I don't know if you'd stepped away while I was struggling with that last one, but it is not an easy thing. But yeah, getting it to align around the side is non-trivial. Non-trivial. Also, you'll notice that neither of these have the AM8 or AM8 reinforced include X-carriage items. So, I mean, there are plenty of E3D mounts out there for the ANET. Really, at this point, all you're dealing with is the spacing of the rods, which I guess is the same across virtually everything at this point. But there are at least 2 decent models for X-carriage holders. And I ended up with the one that includes the end stop, which is weird. I don't know why the other one doesn't include an end stop, but the problem I had with those, I had to Dremel out the rod holes for them, but I also nearly broke off the end stop mount little arm that just sticks out above the top rod hole on the left-hand rod holder, or the left-hand x-axis holder, and it could be reinforced. I mean, you could just do a sort of an arch just above the top rod hole that would serve to better reinforce the end stop plate there. Now I get two options here. I can just work this screw in until it gets through the hole, bores it out just enough, or I could take a Dremel to it. And I'm just going to do this the easy way and thread the hole accordingly. So on the side with the 4 screws, I run them through all the way. On the side with the 2 screws, I run them through as little as possible, just enough to grab the square nut. And in this way, I get around the problem of getting it onto the extrusion for the most part, except when I encounter this problem, which is I have not threaded the nut quite enough. There we go. You still need to orient them all in the narrow orientation, or narrowmost orientation. And then what you end up doing is loosening and then tightening the nuts. You have to loosen them, of course, because you're not because in the narrow orientation, you're just sort of squeezing them past the outer wall of the extrusion and not getting them inside the track necessarily. What have I done? No, that nut is turned. I wish I could show you this, but you know, I can show you this. Oh, great. Well, All right, I will join you shortly. I'm gonna get this one more X carriage, or I'm sorry, one more motor mount on here, and then I will probably head over and look at the Hypercube build. Oh, we have two people here. All right. All right. Well, let me at least see if I can show you the problem with these nuts. No, I can't because this is apparently powered off. Now we've lost the square nut into the bowels of our build. Can we get it aligned with our screw so that we can recover this? We're going to have to yank the whole damn thing out again. All right, well, I have headphones, so I am going to, on my live stream, because this is such great form, on my live stream, listen to somebody else's live stream. If I line this way, I have just enough clearance to plug it in and run the motors out the side. Question is, do I want to align the motors out the side and prevent it from being flipped on its side, or run it out the front? And I'm running it out the front. I have a little while longer to fight with this, so I will do that. That failed on both counts. Time to see how the country club's doing. You will probably be able to hear the audio.
Extruded or printed extrusions. It's midnight here in the Netherlands. I got a friend that lives in Ierseke. I can't do that thing. Yerseke, I think is the name of the town. Ierseke or something like that.
Oh.
Met her many years ago. We're still in touch on Facebook though. So sweet. Anywho, I am going to kick right off, but I need to tell those that are viewing this later, and you'll notice a lack of the chat on the window, and that's because, you know, I've got cameras. I've got the I've got the overhead, which, come on, woohoo, it works. And then I've got the table camera back here. Woo, it works too. So that's awesome. That's awesome. But anywho, printed extrusions, and we're going to use some of these nice little 90-degree inside corners. Wait, let's see. Oh, Carl Brown, you know it's blue and orange, baby. You know it's going to be orange and blue. And these will go in here, but due to me wanting to over-engineer it, what's up? Me wanting to over-engineer this, these are really tight. So I got this nice little rubber mallet that is going to help me insert every one of these. So, and I did try it today, and it makes them really tight, which is cool. It is cool now, there's no doubt about that. But I need to get my tools ready, because I didn't want to do anything till y'all got here. Ben Craig gonna come in and say my hero. Woohoo! I'm somebody's hero. I don't know whose it is.
It's nice to see Walter's using
right, so the right
corner brackets that I recommended. I don't know if he stumbled upon those on his own or otherwise.
All right. Don't roll off of there. You can't roll off of there. All right. All right, tools ready for these. So I want to tell all those that are watching this later that I am filming this in front of a live studio audience. It is not, this will not be cut. It will not be edited. You will see this live as it happens. We are building the Hypercube Evo, and instead of buying the extrusions, I have elected to print them, which took well over 200 hours to print all of the parts for this. So we are beginning. I have 8 days.
It's worth showing Walter what my extrusions came out like.
Can I tilt the main cam down? No, but I can turn on the overhead. How about that? How about we just turn on the overhead? And then you can see what I'm doing. So we're using these extrusions to do that.
Very sexy curve, actually, but not what you want in an extrusion.
This stream, I'm hoping, should be the shortest of the bunch.
That's why I ended up buying my extrusions.
Because putting the frame together, I have to have one of these at 100, one of them at 10, and then one of them at the corner for the end pieces. And then for the side pieces, it's just a top and bottom piece to put together. We're going to get the frame together tonight.
I think we can conclude my stream.
I have allotted 3 hours to do that until 9. If we run a little bit over, then we do.
Have a good evening, folks.